One of this first start, everybody's got to recognize that our total compensation for our retirement is composed of two things: pension and what the General Motors, I heard them call welfare benefits. Okay? The pension, per what John was saying, is guaranteed by ERISA, the Employee Retirement Income Security Act of 1974. Okay? Relatively new act, but they had to set up, all the companies had to set up a trust fund for that. That's the good news. The bad news, for what John said too, is ERISA, like most laws, has holes in it, for lack of better term, legal holes in it. There was a trust fund set up to handle our pension. It's based on demographics. The predictions are based on demographics and the content of the pension fund. In other words, the program. General Motors, unfortunately, has the right to modify the program. So like John said, and I'll tell you right now, I'm one of the ones that took advantage of it. In this last go-round, the early retirement portion was funded out of the pension. And that's a modification to the program based on when other people retired. What we think happened at Delphi, because we had some information that said Delphi's salaried pension fund was fully funded when it spun off in '97. Now, two things have happened since '97. Obviously, the market took a crash. Okay, so I'm sure there was a big hit there. But the other thing is the Delphi management team used that fund, we think, to fund their buyouts. Therefore, these poor Delphi guys don't have much of a pension fund, and that's why Pension Benefit Guaranty Corporation will be taking it. Delphi's over. And if they take it over, the schedule of payments changes dramatically. That's why you hear that. At this point in time, like John said, based on the demographics and the program, the General Motors salary pension trust fund is 95% funded. So if they change the program, okay, it could go from 95 easily down to 80. The positive thing right now, it's 95% funded. The other positive thing is the Fed is watching it to make sure they don't change the program too much. So that's your pension portion. The other portion that is not guaranteed, there are no laws for it. The benefits are a moral obligation by the companies. There you go. Everybody understands what that means. So hopefully that kind of gets you everybody up to speed on where all this benefit stuff is. And keep in mind, pension is one thing that's in pretty good shape, and there's laws somewhat to support that. The welfare benefits, there aren't any laws. It's a moral obligation. So when you go into bankruptcy, we are unrepresented people. Okay? And that's what the GMRA is trying to do. That's what John mentioned, this 1114 committee. Fortunately, there was a law that was changed for bankruptcy that said during a bankruptcy, there are people that need to be represented, and the 1114 committee is one way to get them represented. And that's why we're going to bankruptcy court on Thursday to see whether we can be represented as a group of creditors. During this whole bankruptcy process, the federal government gave General Motors a bogey that said these welfare benefits that I talked about, they need to be reduced by 2/3 in the new corporation. I think you guys have seen that number. Okay? Who knows what that number is, and who knows how it's going to be divided amongst all those welfare benefits. If we get a committee recognized by the government, by the courts, I should say, by the courts, then we'd be able to get some of that demographic information from the corporation. General Motors' mission, Retirees Association mission, is dedicated to three major purposes. One is to urge the preservation of the pension, health care, and other benefits earned by GM retirees through the years of labor and loyalty to GM. Second, to help strengthen General Motors to the best. We need to work to get General Motors cash flow up if we want our pensions to really be, if we want our benefits to be any good, not our pensions, our benefits. And third, and John mentioned this, is to work through the National Retiree Legislative Network to come up with long-term changes to the laws. I look at it, there's three legs we have to work on. We have to work on the legal thing, that's the bankruptcy. We have to work on PR, which is through the press. And the third thing is we need to work with our legislators to get this business of the government giving direction on how much they're going to cut out of our benefits so it's not so bad. Near as we can tell, and this is 123,000 salaried retirees in the United States, okay, of which I think 38,000 are from Michigan. We think about 20% of those 123 are below age 65. We worked hard to earn these benefits. As a group, we had no influence on the corporation on what happened. The other thing that's important to understand, we got to keep this message going. There's a lot of people right now, I believe, a lot of retirees right now with the impact of these changes, their cash flow, they're going to have to do something significant for their cash flow. They aren't going to be able to make it. One of the reasons we came here is to talk to everybody here to join the organization. We need numbers. By that I mean members, because it helps. It says a lot more to the courts and to the public is if there's an organization that says we represent 133,000, we only got 10 members. That's a lot different number than if there's an organization that we represent 133,000, we got 30,000 members. So we need numbers, but we also need money. For instance, we're going to go to New York next week. Okay, so we need some funds for that. We also need funds for legal defense. Our website is GMRetiree.org. If you get on there and go through it, there's a lot of information on there, and that's where the application is. You can sign up and join the organization. Right now, near as I can tell, our membership is close to 3,000, and we're looking to get more. As a member of the GMRA, you're automatically a member of the National Retiree Legislative Network.